What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to Satisfactory Early Access. It is time to start the mining and the smelting and the automation of the stuff and things. Now, last up we queued up personal storage. I'm just going to kind of leave that sitting for now, although I do want the personal storage. I'm not overly anxious to jump into it quite yet, but I am anxious to jump into some automated mining. So first things first, we want to start off right here on this iron. Now this is why I waited, so let's just run through the process. First off, we know we've got a pure iron ore node. Now a pure iron ore node is as good as it gets. So let's grab one of these portable miners, as since we're adding in some automation, we can recycle one of these guys right out of the gates, and we'll keep those other three running. But we're going to need one miner just to create this process. Now, before we even get any further, I guess I want to get the miner down first, but in the immortal words of Averon, what kind of a caveman doesn't use foundations? So I do plan on paving the world in this playthrough, there is no doubt about it. But let's start off with that miner. So we know... Let's get that down. Let's just get it down first, and I'll kind of run you all through the thought process of what I'm doing here. And I kind of want to look at it directionally and see where this other one will be sitting. I think right there is pretty good. That looks like a pretty good area to start. So we have a miner. Now it's unpowered, not running. Let's take a look at it. So a Tier 1 or MK1 miner on a pure iron ore node is going to give you 120 ore per minute. Let's get some foundation down real quick, and then we will start up kind of thinking through exactly how we want to do this. Let's see. Can't be a caveman, Joe. So we are paving it. We are indeed paving it. So let's see, let's just go out 3 tiles, I think, for now. Or maybe even 4, let's see. Yeah, let's just go out 3 for right at the moment. That gives us a pretty decent setup. We can go 1 more wide, maybe. Oops. Did I place it in the wrong spot? Yeah, I did. Luckily, everything is so quick and easy to get rid of if you misclick. So we're looking good there. I think the paving of the world is fine to get things started. Do we want to go 1 more? Let's just go 1 more, just for good measure. Let's just do it. One more tile out. You know what? Let's even just get 1 more over as well. There we go. We got a nice big platform here to get things started. So anyway, we're putting out 120 ore per minute. Now, if we throw down a smelter, which would be the next step in this particular line, let's see, where do we want it? We want plenty of room. How about right there? How does that seem? I think that's more than a sufficient amount of room. Now, let's take a look at a smelter. Now, one smelter making iron ingots is going to use 30 per minute. Now, we're going to be producing 120 per minute. But we're only using 30 per minute in one smelter, which means we got room for more smelting. So let's go ahead and throw down 4 smelters. 4 smelters is going to go through 120 ore per minute. And this would be the proper ratio with an MK1 miner sitting on a pure node. So we're going to get to the point where we're doing 120 ore per minute. That's good stuff. And now, talking about those splitters, this is why I wanted to do it. I wanted to make sure I was setting up with the proper ratios right out of the gate. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a splitter there and see, is it too close? It is not too close, so we're good there. So we would have a belt running here. We'd have 1 running there. And then we're going to put yet 1 more splitter just directly over here next to it. Let's go, say... See, we want the input over on that side. Let's just go right here with it. Why not? Now we're going to be going over to this splitter, and then we're going to be splitting once again and going to these. Now this allows us to get the proper ratio of smelted ore per miner on the pure node. Now there's one problem here. Big problem out there. Transports up to 60 resources per minute. Which means we're not going to be getting 120 ore out of there because we've only got one output, which means one belt is only going to get me 60 ore per minute. So I'm instantly gated at 60 ore per minute, which means these 4 smelters would not keep up. Now there's one real simple fix to that. We're going to set those to iron, we're going to set this one to iron, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to go ahead and set these to copper. Now the reason I'm doing this is I can now run up top to the copper, grab some ore without having to build that area out yet, and I automatically will have a place to get it smelted. So let's throw the copper ore in here, and as long as I have copper selected there, the iron ore will feed out this belt. However, none of it's actually going to go into the smelter. So until I can upgrade this belt coming out to the splitter, I will not have enough ore to keep all of these smelters in a proper ratio of smelter to miner. So I'm going to go with 2 iron, 2 copper to start things up. Now we got another big problem. We just don't have no power. So as we know, going through tier 0 unlocked not 1 but 2 bioreactors here, and we just kind of have to start creating our power network. So I'm going to just put 1 pole out here, and we will connect both of these to each pole. Now of course each pole as we get started in the game only can have 4 connections. So we want to make sure we're keeping the main power network all on one, and then branching off from there. So if we take a look at it, we could run over to, say, right here, and then again maybe even to, say, right there. And let's get this all connected up here. So we're going to want to go from that pole to this one, this pole over to this one. Now, although it is baby sized, this would be the main power network. Now, I don't want any machines coming or being fed directly off the main power network. So what I would want to do to take advantage of that is let's get another power pole here, and we'll put yet another power pole right here, and then we don't have machines connected directly to the network. The machines are going to be branching off onto their own branch off of the main network. Now this is going to ensure that I'm keeping my capacity in line and the power is being distributed evenly. So we don't want machines being powered off of the main network, so I wouldn't go power line here to here. What I would do is power line here to there. Now I can go 1 more node off of this one, so let's get that first machine fed, and then I can go 3 nodes off of this one, which will handle our remaining 3 machines. So we've got our 4 connections in use. If I needed to extend out further, if I built more power out over here, then what I would do is add in another pole, break one of these connections, feed that machine off the next pole, and then that 4th slot would then come over to the extension of the branch coming off of the main network. It will all make much more sense once I get more and more built out. However, let's fire this bad boy up. Now, the bio burners, of course, is the reason I've been running around collecting up all these leaves and whatnot so far. So let's grab all of the leaves that we have. And our very first fuel we're going to create is going to be biomass. Now, we're going to be able to get past biomass pretty darn quickly. However, we want to go ahead and get our generators running just off of the biomass. We're going to eventually go to biofuel. And then after that, hopefully we're to the point where we can start with some coal power generation, and then eventually oil, and then from there the future of what's to come. So let's go ahead and get this biomass crafted up, and we will be ready to fire up this equipment. Alright, so we actually have more biomass than I can fit into the machines right now, so I am going to just dump some of this in storage. I'll keep those two, the full stack and the partial stack, and we will go ahead and feed these guys directly. Now, the second we turn on here, we see our capacity is 40 megawatts. Now, our capacity is how much we can actually produce, plus what is going to travel down the network, the main power network. Now, by adding more biomass generators to it, this is going to go up. However, as we can see, currently we're only consuming 13 megawatts, so not a huge issue. So now we are in good shape, everything is powered, and if we come over here and take a peek, we're going to see we got copper smelting, both of those machines, and we have got the iron starting to flow in, and the iron will be at the correct ratio where this smelter will never turn off. It should always have the iron feeding in once we get all these lines caught up. Now currently it's all being split. However, as you see, the iron is not going into these smelters right now, so as soon as those lines fill and it doesn't split anymore, we'll be directly at a 1-to-1 ratio for what the belt can handle and what we can smelt. Now, once again, it's, you know, this is just setting up for the future. Obviously, these will be iron smelters down the road, but until I get the next belt unlocked, I just can't get that done. So let's go ahead and grab our copper ore that we've got processing so far. Let's grab the iron ore that is gone to this point, and let's see if we can go ahead and get our current milestone knocked out. Looks like we don't need very many more plates, but do need to make a ton of rods. So let's see. Let's knock some plates out first. Oh, I actually had some copper ore on me. I could have just thrown in those smelters. I will do that here in a moment. That's actually all we need is the rods, huh? Let me go ahead and, you know what, I'll just smelt up this batch just to knock it out real quick. Alright, we're all smelted up. We got tons of rods made now. I actually had plenty sitting there in my inventory and just didn't see them. We have got personal storage, number 1, ready to launch. So let's go ahead and unlock that. Now, while we're waiting for that to come back,
additional storage options have been provided.
While we're waiting for that to come back, let's take a look at the rest of our hub. Now, we now have access to the MAM, which is the Molecular Analysis Machine. And although there's not a whole lot of value from a lot of the things like the nuts and the flower petals, of course the flower petals we're going to research and eventually it's going to give us dyes where we can paint things, which, you know I'm turning everything orange, it's just going to happen. However, we can get some of this research started, and this stuff will just run and take varied amounts of time. Let's start off with the big blue pistachios. And we see this one is going to take 5 minutes to research, so I'm just going to let that run. And as we find things throughout the world, there is some very valuable things we'll unlock. We'll end up getting a nice gun, a rebar gun out of the deal. We'll end up getting those Blade Runner kind of exoskeleton boots that we'll be using down the road to increase our run speed. We're going to unlock all that stuff through the MAM, and that's just through items we find just through the environment. Now let's take a look. What do we have left in tier number 1? We actually only have 2 things left. It seems like the obvious choice here is going to be utility. That way I can get the biofuel flowing. So let's go ahead and get that one started. We can't start putting anything in for 30 more seconds. And it looks like I'm going to have to collect some more resources from our miners, but we know they're mining and smelting automatically right now. Now, before I move on to any actual automation, I do want to set this next miner up over here. So I'm going to get that dialed in first, and that's going to involve what? It's going to involve some extensions on the foundation here. I want to make sure that it is all dialed in nice. We actually got this little hill here. I guess we'll just ramp up a little bit to it, maybe. Not sure what we're going to do quite yet right here. I want to see how the tiles line up when we get to that point. However, let's grab our items that have been smelting, and you see they're actually full. So we've got 200 ingots now just sitting there waiting for us. Let's throw some more ore in that bad boy. And we actually have a dead smelter now, which would require me running up to the copper to grab more ore for. Now, I'm not quite ready to do that. I could even belt the stuff down. That would be the non-lazy route to take. And you know what? I just may end up taking that route. We're going to have to see how we go here. But first things first, let's get this utility milestone knocked out and see if we can get ourselves advanced on into Tier 2 research just as quickly as we can. So let's see, what did we need again? We need the bars, we need the plates, we need the wire. So I need, what, 50 more plates and what is that, 72 more bars. Do I have enough to make that? It looks like I don't think I do. I think I'm going to be just short on the iron. Maybe not. Let's see here. We need 72 bars, right? There's the 72 bars. Oh, nice. We are going to have enough without making another run. So let's get this milestone knocked out. And then we're only going to have one milestone left in Tier 1, and we're going to be advancing right along. So, you know, of course I want to get into that Tier 6 zone as soon as possible. Start doing some cool things with some big amounts of power. And I'm anxious to get that happening, but we have got a long way to go. So there we go. That one is launched, and all we have left.
We have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the...
All we're going to have left after that for Tier 1 is just the conveyor walls, which, to be honest with you, other than the stairs, I've got mixed emotions on these walls. I'm not sure exactly how much I'll be using them, but we can then go in and check on the MAM. It looks like it is still a minute and a half away, so we'll just go ahead and let that continue on. So let's take a quick look while we've got some more smelting going on at exactly how we want to foundation over this area. Having that hill there makes it a little bit less clean. In fact, I might just go one on top of the other with the foundation here for this hill. Let's see, is it going to let me? Yeah, it is. We can always put a little mini ramp up here to it or whatever to smooth the transition if we choose. Oh, out of concrete, so can't get my platforming going any further across here. But I do think that this is the obvious choice as far as getting the rest of this moved along here. Now, of course, I could go with the taller platforms to get across this hill. I'm liking how it's coming along. It's definitely going to be nice. So I tell you what, we're going to let a little bit more get smelted up, and while that's going, let's go make another lap and grab the stuff out of our portable miners.
The MAM has completed its analysis.
There we go. So let's grab the limestone, because we know we're going to need lots more concrete. In fact, I want to get that limestone automated as quickly as possible. But I'm still a little bit nervous about whether or not a miner is going to set down on top of that. We're going to have to see how that goes here. Let's grab the available copper we have up here, and then that's going to allow me to go ahead and feed those two smelters that are not being fed by the miner quite yet. Having all of these pure iron nodes right here is just such a huge benefit. We're going to be just pumping out just insane amounts of iron really, really quick. I'm excited about that for sure. Let's see, so let's get some copper dumped in here. Nothing else to take, no. Let's grab some more copper in there. And then we'll just kind of snag the iron that is available right here to get us going on this next milestone. Now we'll have this one knocked out really, really quick and be able to finish up this particular tier. And what, we needed 100 iron plates. Oh, I'm actually going to need even more iron after this. I mean, I'll be able to get the plates done, but I'm not going to have enough to do all of the copper tubes. That's alright, it's just over there and it's smelting as we go, so GG on that. Okay, there's the 100 plates. Yeah, we're going to be pretty short on the rods, as we're just going to need a little bit more iron here. But that is alright. We can get it. 250 wire. We've got more than enough copper to get that knocked out. So let's grab our 250 on the wire. And then we're just going to need some more rods, which, to be honest with you, there's probably enough iron already smelted just from while we've been sitting here to handle that. Let's see, what do we need? Let's do that. So all we need is those iron rods now. And you know what? Let's make another batch of concrete here while we've got it, and see if we can't get our next little platform dialed in a little bit better here. I wish there was a way to flatten the terrain there on that hill, but, you know, maybe down the road we'll have some kind of viability like that. So let's see. How do we want to do it? I think for right now, let's just go... Let's just connect directly to it and not worry about the base underneath. Let's do one more row here. There we go. And then here, we can actually go on the ground. So let's make sure that they're connected up properly. The last thing in the world we need is for something to not be symmetrical. So let's not even go there on the symmetry and make sure we're getting it done right. See, a player is in the way. Tell you what, let's just go underneath it. That way we can just snap to it. That'll make life way, way easier here. And out of concrete once more. However, here I can easily put some ramps down, but this does give me a nice area where I can't fit 4 smelters right here, but I can certainly put 2 smelters here, maybe even 3, and then I can without a doubt get at least 1 smelter down here, and that is all going to come off of this node. So let's grab the iron ingots we have available. Let's go ahead and refill the copper here. Did I get it filled up? Yep, that was all I had. And let that continue to smelt, and then let's go ahead and make these rods and finish out. Finishing out tier 1. Not too shabby. See, we only need 66 rods here for this one, so a piece of cake on here on this particular milestone. Now the next milestone, let's take a look at it and see what we're gonna get and what we want to do to advance that milestone along. I think I'm just gonna pump out almost all of these rods. Here, I'll keep a few iron plates just in case I need them. Get a few plates made anyway. Alright, we got rods and plates now. So we are good to go. Tier 1 research is complete.
Milestone reached.
Now, if we go ahead and look, we see the pod won't be back for 2 minutes, but we can check through tier 2 now. And we see we're going to get parts assembly, which is going to allow us to make some of the higher end parts, which is going to be nice. We can really start automation now. We're going to get obstacle clearing. One of the main things here is the chainsaw. Obviously, the inventory is never a bad thing. The chainsaw makes going and collecting the biofuel kind of a non-issue. We've got jump pads, which I am excited to play with, but I have yet to touch. So I haven't done anything at all with jump pads yet. And then we've got walkways, which are going to give us some nice clean edges around any walkways we might make up top around through the various platforms. So it'll be nice to see that going. Now let's take a look over here. We've got the MAM unlocked. See, analysis of a barrel nut is completed. Please show a new specimen in the list to begin a new analysis. So alright, we've got that done. Now we've got flower petals we can analyze.
Scanner catalog after unlocking the new blueprint in Hub Tier 1.
We've got those alien carapace that we can send off for research as well, and I think that is where we want to go, because the next step on the alien carapace is actually going to be get 10 of them, which I'm going to have to go out and find some baddies to kill. but then that is going to unlock the rebar gun for us. Now what happens is once you unlock research here, if you come back over to your hub terminal, you're going to see new research gets added in, where we just got new research on tier 1, which is the nut scanner. So basically for the cost of 5 nuts, I can send that up as the milestone. It'll now allow me to scan, which means I can just scan the area and run around and pick as many of these nuts as I want. It's definitely something nice to have. And let's go ahead and get that one knocked out since we have the nuts already. Let's throw the 5 in there and just launch that bad boy as well. Now this one, there's no time waiting for it to come back, so let's take a look through what we want to do first. I think really we want to go for quality of life first thing, so let's go for the obstacle clearing right away, and we'll get that one started. Now we see on the obstacle clearing, we're going to need a ton of iron rods, we're going to need some reinforced plate, we're going to need a bunch of copper wire, which we've got some of that already. We're going to need some cable, which we had some of that already as well, and basically just need to spin this stuff up. As you see, we've got tons of copper in the inventory, all smelted out from the goodies from our smelting operation. Let's see, let's free up some room and throw that stuff back so we can take that and those screws. We can throw that right on in, as we just don't need it yet. We can throw those in as well. And we do need to make some iron plates, which we're actually going to need lots of screws, so I probably shouldn't have thrown those in quite yet, and now they're gone. However, can always just make some more real quick, as basically every time I come over here now, these things are either going to be full or right at it. Now, what this is telling me is I need storage, as these are filling up faster than I'm coming and collecting the stuff. So it's time to add on a little bit of storage, and to be honest with you, I don't know where I want it to go. I think long term it will end up going somewhere other than where I've got it right now. But I think what I'll do for right now... See, I'm going to need some more rods to even make storage containers. So I tell you what, let's grab the iron we have. Let's make up some rods real quick. We'll grab this copper, as, you know, it's done, so why not? And let's make sure we're not missing out on any iron production, as we just need an absolute ton of iron at this point. So it's smelted. Let's just go ahead and make some rods. Let's get this storage squared away first things first. We've got plenty of plates, I think, right? We might as well make a few more plates while we're at it. See, we got a nice little start to the rods and the plates here. Now I've got 2 smelters. I'm basically going to want 2 storage units, as I just want to make sure I don't have any issues. Now I think I debated on putting them here, but I don't want to take up any room from that particular smelting operation. So I think I'm just going to stack them right here for now. And that actually tells me I should have platformed out just a little bit further. Let's check our biomass burners. They still got a ton of biomass left, so we're in good shape there. But let's make some more concrete. Oh, I never ran over and grabbed the limestone. Alright, well let's grab limestone first, and then we'll make some more concrete. This particular hill, I'm not going to bother going up above. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow on it, as it's not huge. And I am super anxious to see if I'm going to be able to put a miner down right here. So let's just grab this limestone. We'll get this turned into some more concrete, and then get those foundations down right away. And then that'll just give us somewhere to store this stuff anyway. So, concrete away. We can make 67 of those bad boys, which is more than enough to do what I want to do right this moment. Since I do plan on paving the world, I do want to get this concrete automated as soon as possible, as I don't want to have to be going and grabbing the limestone. I want to just go and be able to grab the concrete. So I'm going to try to get a miner down on that particular node. But then I'm also going to look for another, as, you know, we're going to have some pretty heavy-duty concrete demands here. There's no doubt about that. Let's see, we got this expanded out one more. Let's see how that allows us to put the storage container down. Will it let it put it on the platform, or is it going to make us put it up on the hill? Looks like it's going to make us put it on the hill. I could throw it right there. That's just terrible, though. I think I need to come out just a little bit further. Player in the way. Well, that'd be me. Let's see, so we're all connected up on those platforms. I can decide what I'm going to do here. I just don't really feel like it's necessary to ramp up over all that stuff. I'm out of concrete again already. However, this is good enough. I hate destroying this nut tree. I got nuts right here. But let's see. Let's go something like that. And then we'll put another one directly on top of it. And then let's just belt these bad boys over. Although I can't build properly on that terrain, the belts kind of ignore it. There's no collision. So all of these iron ingots will just flow right down without any problems and no stoppage. They'll just go right through everything here and into storage. So now we've got plenty of iron being pumped out. The copper is in our own control here. Now what I could do temporarily is get a miner up top there and then just belt the copper all the way over to a splitter here and get the copper feeding as well. But for the time being, I am pretty content just running up and manually grabbing it, as it's just not a big deal. And as you see where I'm at right now in the game, I actually have a ton of copper sitting here. So just doing what I've been doing so far has been, without a doubt, more than sufficient. So that will do it for this episode. We got the basics of our smelting operation in play. Gonna need to do a lot of concrete work. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that off stream or off camera or on. It depends on how grindy it is, and really it depends on if I'm going to be able to get a miner there, as I'm really hoping I can get a miner over there, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it quite yet, so we will tackle that next episode. However, that will do it for now, so thanks an absolute ton. I do appreciate you very much for swinging by and watching, and I will be back real soon with much more Satisfactory. I'm digging the game. I'm anxious to get through and get these tiers unlocked and get all the cool stuff all done up. So thank you all once again, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.